Hey guys, Nick from Buffalo Pinball here with a short little video of a new toy that I picked up, which is clearly not a pinball machine, and it's kind of very unlike me. But I grabbed this arcade game, which is iiArcade machine, about 2 weeks ago in a Black Friday sale, and they're still doing some holiday sales where this thing is normally $7.99 and right now it's $4.99, and there's different cabinets too if you don't like the style. But I got it last week and I've been playing around with it, and I really like it. So much to the fact that I figured I'd do a short video because I actually wasn't aware that these things really existed or didn't know much about them. And to my surprise, even though I'm not typically an arcade guy, I thought this really fit well in my game room. And what sort of prompted it was I had this space in my game room where I don't have room for a pinball machine. So I'll back up a little bit. And there's this kind of corner here. You see the couch, you see the Sopranos pinball machine. And I think what I had was like a little TV stand for drinks. And I figured that putting an arcade game there, well, that was a better use of the space. Even if it's just kind of for maybe a novelty, why not put it there? It'll be fun. And it kind of goes against some of my stuff where everything else in my basement, which I'm planning on doing a video of a kind of a game room tour because I need to update it. A lot of things have changed. I'm going to do an official video, hopefully within the next few weeks. But I wanted to. I wanted to fill that space, and even though this is not a commercial machine, it's built for the home. I think it's a huge win in the space. And if you're like me and you don't want to sacrifice any space for a pinball machine, but you want to maybe put an arcade machine in there, I think this is a really good choice. Maybe in an ideal world, I would have a MAME cabinet, maybe tucked in somewhere. But again, a MAME cabinet is certainly bigger than this. And this kind of falls into the category of, like, you might have seen like the 1-Up arcade games. What I think this is much better is that the price is very similar, but this is a multicade. And even though this is the Retromania Wrestling, which is based on a game that came out a year or two ago, it's on Steam and Switch. There are other cabinets. You can get like a classic Double Dragon cabinet. You can get I think like a Space Invaders one, and they always have kind of limited edition one-off cabinets as well. And I think this is just a much more premium product than the 1-Up arcade games because, first of all, for the space, you can get, there's hundreds of games on this thing. You download it from the internet. They have everything from classic games like I mentioned, like Double Dragon, Dragon's Lair comes on it, and also newer games like Retromania, which is kind of like a new retro style. Donut Dodo is like another game that came out in this past year with retro style. It's operated with like an Android system, so it can play some more modern style games. And actually, the first time I ever learned about this thing is I saw an ad for a cabinet that was a Mutant Football League cabinet, and I love that game. And when I first saw it, I was like, that's cool. I thought it was just an arcade cabinet dedicated to Mutant Football League. And I was like, why would anybody spend, like $500 on this? I didn't realize that it really is a multicade. So I figured I'd clarify that. Let's go over how this works and see some details. I'm gonna power it on. So the power button is right here. You hold it down for a few seconds and it boots up, hopefully, right? If I held it down long enough. While it's doing its thing, we can take a look at some details. This cabinet is pretty damn impressive. I mean, the decals are higher quality than the decals on my, $7,000, $8,000, $9,000 pinball machines, which is crazy to think about. These are kind of, I think this is the style of the Radicals that maybe Jersey Jack Pinball does. They're decal with like a plastic, and it makes it extremely glossy. It looks really good. So good construction. This thing is probably about maybe 80 pounds. It's 2 units. So there's the base right here that you assemble, and then you put this arcade top on it. So this could be a bar top thing. and you kind of assemble them separately and then connect them. Really easy to do. Took me maybe about an hour and a half because, hey, it's me. But I was able to do it myself. It was actually fun assembling it. Speakers have a nice presence up here. I actually upgraded them recently. I put in like, $45 speakers just because the ones don't have a tweeter. But in the back here is a 100-watt amp. So these things can get pretty loud, believe it or not. They're solid quality. This is going to go through like a little medley of games on here. I'll turn it down a little bit. That updates, I think, every week. It shows kind of maybe some newer games on there, some games available, which is a nice attract mode. You can switch it, but solid speakers for the unit and considering the price. The controls are Sanwa controls. And listen, I'm not an arcade guy, but my understanding is that everybody wants Sanwa, especially in the fighting community. So quality controls, quality all around, especially in the unit for this price. And what's also interesting is I find that the height on this is perfect for me. I'm 5'10", maybe 5'11" on a good day, and it's very comfortable in terms of where I kind of stand in relation to this game. I don't feel like I'm hunched over it or dominating it. It is a 19-inch screen, and it is kind of a thin unit, but I have played this game with friends, and we're both able to stand rather comfortably at the screen and play the game. So as you can see on here, here's the main menu. It's not the most attractive UI, but it's also highly functional. The base unit comes with about 10 games. I'll scroll through here. I've obviously downloaded some of them, and as you can see, some have online play. I think it's an alpha right now, so don't be surprised if it doesn't work great. But it's got classics, everything from like Burger Time to Cabal, to Donut Dodo, which I had mentioned is kind of a new retro. That game came out, I think, earlier this year. Double Dragon, Dragon's Lair. Galacticon is a new kind of retro game. That game's a lot of fun. It's got a jukebox function, so you can play, connect it to Bluetooth, play music from Spotify on your phone, listen to podcasts. When I'm down here working on my games, that's a nice function to have, especially with the upgraded speakers. You've got like Neo Geo games like Magical Drop. So again, the way you get games is you go to their website. There's maybe close to 300 games on there. Various degrees of quality. You hit download. Games are anywhere from I don't know, maybe like $6 to $10. There's some sales going on now. Some games are more expensive, like Retromania Wrestling, which actually came with this cabinet. But if you don't get this cabinet, that game's $30 games, which is the same price on Steam. There's other games on here like Mayhem Brawlers, a game that came out in 2021. It's obviously like a brawler style game, but what's cool about this unit and what I think attracts me is not only can it play retro games, but it can play newer retro games. So better graphics, better sound. I like the versatility of that. So yeah, I think this is a good deal. I'm making this video specifically because I was just surprised by it. I figured that there's other people like me who might have a corner of their game room and maybe they're not utilizing that space, and this might attract them to it because, as I said, this thing is $499 right now. This is like the older style cabinets. There's a quote-unquote gold style that's on sale for $799 right now. That gold style is normally $1,000. This retro style, this original style is normally $799. And the gold style just has kind of a more American arcade look to it. It kind of arches over. It's got a lit up marquee, but the guts of everything is the same. This is just a kind of piece of plastic that slides in there. I've actually ordered a tempered glass so that we'll have a nicer look to it. But just overall, really good. I can let's see, maybe a little Mayhem Brawler just so you can see it on the screen how it looks. Maybe get a sense of the sound. Here I am. What's going on, guys? Let's see, that's going to take a minute to load up. Anything to continue? Let's continue that campaign. All right. So I mean, look how loud that gets. I barely turned it up, and it's Again, I think the whole thing of this is for the price point, the quality is pretty damn good. So yeah, there you go. Good.
What a beautiful day.
You can see it from different angles.
Yeah,
The screen looks
glad
solid.
We didn't take the subway.
I'm not really playing. I'm gonna get my ass kicked, but
like every other day, Jonah.
solid sound.
Hot dogs, burglars, and dogs and 2 feet.
All right, so I'm going to go back by just holding down the menu button in there. I'm out. There's also a pause functionality on it. There's a coin button to coin it up. Everything's really crisp, clear, works great. If I had any complaints on it or concerns, I would say that the screen, when I got it, even though it was protected and like there was like a sticker on both sides, there was like a kind of like a chip in the plastic. So I'm trying to get that addressed, and my back and forth with their customer service, they've kind of acknowledged other things in the email, but I can't get an answer in terms of when I'm going to get that replaced. There were some dead pixels, which I don't know if you can see it. It's nothing major, nothing great. They said they're going to replace that. They're just waiting. The parts come from South Korea, but I'm on the list for that, so that's fine. And I think it's got like a year warranty. So I think maybe the only concern will be the customer service behind it, but everything else is just really high quality. Dig this. Hope this helps you guys out. Looks like the sale's going to go on for a little while longer. Great gift for yourself for the holidays. Take care.